Well, welcome to the 19th of January, 2024. Deep into the peak season for Quartzsite. We're in day 2 at the big tent, and I'll be going there today. But today, first up is the video comments, and it is 36 degrees at 8:01 a.m. It's a chilly morning here. And again, I will warn you about the wind tomorrow. Monday the 20th is going to be brutal in the afternoon. It is the by a pretty significant margin. This is the most violent winds we've had so far since I've been here in the beginning part of November. And what do I mean by that? We have a peak sustained winds at 5 p.m. at 27 miles per hour, and that easily is gusts of 60 to 70 miles per hour, practically, minor hurricane force winds. So you need to be prepared for that. Have your stuff that could blow away, put away, weighed down. No awnings, your flags will be torn apart. Just be aware. Your rig's gonna shake. I've never seen one fall over. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but I've never heard about it happening out there. But it can be kind of scary. It's gonna be very windy. So the good news is it's only for that one day, and the next day it'll calm down. There's a front coming through. And that front's our high today will be 66, which feels like heaven in the sun in the middle of the day. Tomorrow it's going to go down to 60, 62, and then Tuesday 60. Then it's going to ramp back up pretty quickly to the 70-degree range with a lot of full sunny days, a lot of partly cloudy days. But I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 full sunny days out of the next 10. So 3 have partly cloudy, 7 full sunny. Lows are in the all the way from the lowest I see is 33 degrees on Tuesday for a low, all the way up to 49-degree low on Saturday, February 1st. So good news there for the weather, and that is the weather. What else am I forgetting? Just if this is your first time here, this is Rob Travels Rodati. I spend the whole winter here in Quartzsite, Arizona, boondocking in the desert, right? No hookups. I harvest my own solar. I bring in my own water. I bring out my own trash and my wastewater. My little trailer sits here from the middle of November until probably the end of March, beginning of April. And I just love it here in Quartzsite. And this is the peak time. They say 1 million people come through town every winter. It's a town of 2,500 people. And 1 million visitors come through. Now, granted, that counts people getting off the highway and then getting right back on. Okay, so they count everyone that comes by, from the people that spend the whole season here to the people that come through and stop at Love's to get gas and keep going. So, in that way, the 1 million is a little bit of an exaggeration, but it gives you a big idea. If you look at my video yesterday and how packed the desert is with rigs here, you'll see, wow, maybe there's not 1 million people out here, but there's a heck of a lot of people out here. And for good reason, because January is exciting. The big tent show, I try to go there every day and do a video. And I'm going to start on the comments, but before I do it, I got a comment that came by email, and I'm going to guess maybe the tone of the email didn't suggest they wanted to be polite and private about it. I think maybe they found they weren't getting through on the comments. I'm not going to read it because I don't want to dignify it, but basically, I'm going to talk about it in case anyone wonders about this. They said, basically accused me of medical malpractice. What does that mean? Well, I tell you, I'm a licensed professional counselor, and 1 day a week I do sessions, right? And the way it works, the sessions that I do are virtual. Like you'd see me on the screen like this doing a session. And the way the law works, regulatory law works for a licensed professional counselor in most states, in every state that I'm aware of, you have to be licensed in that state to give treatment to someone that is physically in that state, right? They don't really care where I am if I'm doing it virtually. I can be in Alaska and treat my patient in Virginia. There are services like I belong to Headway and Teladoc services. They do my billing and everything, and they encourage you to have licenses in multiple states, which I do. And they do not expect you to travel to those states to do it. They know you're going to do it from your home, or in my case, my home moves a few times a year. So I am licensed in the states of Virginia, Idaho, Nevada, and Florida. And every one of my clients are physically in each one of those states when I do my sessions, whether I do my sessions from here in Arizona or my home in Nevada, or when I'm in the summer in Mexico, and it's perfectly legal. This person did not think that that was true. They didn't think that I had a degree. They didn't think that I had a license at all, and said, I will be reporting you to the appropriate authorities for medical malpractice. And instead of getting angry about it, I wrote back and I said, I'm assuming you mean well by this somehow, but here you go. I explained what I just explained then, and they know my name because they had my email address, Robert Wakeley, and they know how to spell it. And they can go to each one of those states that I'm licensed in, and it's an easy lookup to see if I actually am telling the truth and I'm licensed, which of course I am. It's very easy to do in each one of those states. And I said I do have a master's degree in counseling from St. Edward's University in Austin, Texas. And that's pretty easily checked too. So that person never answered me. Maybe they will someday. I don't know. And I wanted to bring this out because there could be people wondering, is this guy really legit? He says he's a psychotherapist. He says he's a counselor. Should I believe him? Yes, you should. And I have a website for my counseling practice. It's robwakeley.com. And I plaster it with all my license numbers and NPI numbers and all my credentials and my resume, and everything on that website can be checked and verified. So it's ROBWAKELEY.com. And I do want to say here, though, if you get into this, I'm not taking any new clients. I'm retiring. I have a small number of clients I see one day a week, and I'm trying to wean off those clients so I don't have to work anymore at all, hopefully sometime this coming year. So I'm not taking any new clients. I'm sorry. So Jeremy Grandstaff says, a true story of heroes and thanks. Love it and appreciate you sharing. It is a positive news story about a transplant hero. A guy needed a bone marrow transplant, which is serious business, life-saving transplant. And there was a donor unrelated to him that registered out of the kindness of her heart that was a closer match than even his family, even his brother. And why does that matter? Because the closer the match, the more successful that operation is and the more life-saving that it is. It's a great story. Prevost Newbie, today is the 18th. Yeah, I did two... I did the 17th and the 18th is released on the same day. I'm sorry, previous newbie, there were technical problems, so 2 comment videos. So if you want to see the one on the 18th, it's another video. This one marked the 17th is the 17th. Sorry. Texas John, and by the way, my long form video from yesterday didn't get published until last night, till like 9 o'clock. So sorry about that too. Texas John Trading. It was a lot of fun touring the vendors yesterday. We only got through about a quarter of the vendors before my wife got overheated. We should have brought the dogs. Looking for meetups. I think on the 23rd, if I'm not mistaken, Nomadic Fanatic and a bunch of YouTubers, big ones, are going to be over here in La Posa South. Check Nomadic Fanatic's channel. He has a video on it. It's at the pavilion here. It's at, if I remember right, I think it's at 1 o'clock on the 23rd, which is a Thursday, but don't quote me. Go check out his channel and check out that video. Ken Gray says, wonderful people. That's on the transplant video. Don Collin Creative, love your meetup. Not so perfect, authentic. Why we watch, and definitely the meetup filming was, I just set up the camera and then I forgot where it was and I was off. But what I did do is I had a wireless microphone, so the audio is flawless, but the picture, sometimes I just walk out of frame and who knows when he's coming back. And there'd just be random people standing there, but it seemed to work, and it's imperfect for sure. Christy Lena has hearts all over my transplant hero positive news story. Dave Doyle says, nice park video. However, didn't hear where the park is located other than New Mexico. Well, it's called Coyote Creek State Park Tour. And I suggest you plug Coyote Creek State Park, New Mexico, either into Google, or if you really want to know where it is, you can put it into Google or Apple Maps and it'll show you precisely where it is. I would have said here in Guadalupe, New Mexico, and that's a little tiny town. It wouldn't have helped. So it's part of the state park system in New Mexico. Pamela Johnson, Yahoo, the 18th, Big Tent Day. Yeah, Big Tent Day. That was yesterday. Lisa Ross said they're shutting off the water periodically in the LTVA in La Posa South to give the aquifer a chance to recover, usually a couple hours at a time. Yeah, somebody just blurted out here, well, water's no water, what terrible at LTVA. I'm like, what? Where did you hear that? And I'm not wired into that because I don't get my water here at the LTVA. I buy it in town. So this does happen when it gets really busy. There's an aquifer that they pump the water from, and they know what the level is. And when it gets to a certain level, they go, okay, we got to shut it off and wait for nature to catch up with us before we deliver more water. And it's usually a couple hours. It's a minor inconvenience. Ken Gray saying, I think you did a good job with your videos yesterday and the day before. Thanks. Thank you, Ken. All right, Ken. I got Ken one time, and this is it. So I did a quote. I said, badges. We don't need no stinking badges. And I said, what movie is that from? So Ken comes, and I challenged Ken. This is an obscure one. He says, we don't need no stinking badges, Blazing Saddles, but was first said in 1967 episode of The Monkees titled, It's a Nice Place to Visit. I had to look up the episode, though. And I said, sorry, Ken. Not this time. It's the treasure of the Sierra Madre, 1948. That's where we don't need no stinking badges. So Ken says, didn't know that movie, thanks. Just looked it up. The line is spoken by the bandit Goldhat, played by John Wayne, to Fred Dobbs, played by Humphrey Bogart. Badges? We ain't got no badges. We don't need no badges. I don't have to show you any stinking badges. Now we know where the Monkees got it from. And we know where Blazing Saddles got it from. All right. M. Mork. He posted a link to a YouTube video, and I approved it, but I forgot what it was. Let's see what it was. Let's see. Oh, it's just the announcement from Adventuring with Amanda on the water issue. Thank you. And Venturing Amanda's a friend of mine, and she's a YouTuber here, and she's on it. She knows what's going on here, unlike Travels with Dottie. RV Life says, love hearing George snore. Mario Fuentes, great forum, Rob, great information, great video. Let's see. DD Cornell says, Camp Beverly Hills. I'm not sure what he's referring to. I don't know did I mention Beverly Hills? Because I did live there for a little while. I was unemployed. Sometimes I can't remember things that I've said in a video and things I've said to a client, especially on Fridays and Saturday mornings where I have clients. DD Cornell, good afternoon, Mr. Rob, Dottie, and George. Thank you. Good morning back to you. Wordless. Dottie's Trading Channels, heretofore Dottie's Travels with Deborah and Frugal. Now, this was a short from last year when Deborah and Frugal took care of Dottie when I was speaking at the RTR. Didn't do it this year because it left Dottie home. It's just too overwhelming for my little Dottie girl in crowds like that. Frederick Tinsley, in Arkansas, it's Ewan's. And he must mean Mexican restaurant, good Mexican restaurant. Haas says, hey, Rob, Dottie, and George, this is a great story and hits close to home. This is on the Transplant Hero. My wife Paige was a lifelong sufferer of kidney disease since childhood. She was on dialysis 4 hours a day, every other day, almost a full-time job. She also was saved by an anonymous kidney donor who was also a better match than I or Paige's siblings. My sister gave one of her kidneys to her son. Amazingly generous thing to do. And then there's an anonymous one it's even more remarkable. It gave Paige a longer, more enjoyable life, and it gave Paige and I 14 more happy years together. Sadly, Paige passed away in April of 2021. Everyone needs to, if they can see it in their hearts, consider giving or donated life to another. I also want to personally thank everyone that has or is considering doing so. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. It was the greatest gift Paige and I ever received. More time together. Thanks, Rob, for putting up with my long story. Well, it was a great story. Thank you. Topaz Farmer Travels. Awesome. Deborah is an awesome person. And that's on the comment video that's from Tamara Lemon and Ellie Baum. Did I say Topaz Farmer Travels had hearts and thumbs up for the Transplant Hero? Rebel Girl. I came here because of Deborah and Frugal. I've been following Bob for years as well as other nomads. I'm not a nomad myself, but it was close. I drove cross country by myself to be here with my family. I've seen you on Deborah and Frugal's channel. I just thought I would stop by and visit your channel. And that was at the Deborah's when I recorded Deborah's speech at the RTR. My nomadic dream, I usually keep and that's Herbie says, I usually keep my stickers in my shirt pocket to keep them from creasing. And I'm struggling with that with my new stickers. And I said, sadly, I need a shirt with a pocket. My shirts don't have pockets. Maybe I should look into that. A bus and a pyre. The off-road Jeeps, ATVs have multiplied like crazy in Tyson Wash, and West is packed up too. Someone been doing donuts in the sand outside your trailer. No, those marks have been there since I got there. I don't know where they're from. Joy, how fun. And Larry Anderson, what LTV is that you're showing? Can you park a trailer anywhere off the road? I'm in South, and the answer is yes, you can. Author Deborah Dickinson, my buddy Deborah. I'm so glad you and Herbie held this fun meetup. Thanks, Rob. Always good to see you, and I love seeing all your viewers. You guys rocked it. Thank you, Deborah. And then we've got Spider. A funny thing happened to me the other day. I had eyeglasses shipped from the East Coast and used the Moon Mountain mail address. USPS refused to deliver it to them and immediately returned to sender without notifying me. So now I've got to wait for them to return to the East Coast, and then they have to reship it back. And I got to use general delivery to order my package. Good job. No, I didn't. Moon Mountain was not a legitimate receiver from the United States Post Office. Well, Spider, you're wrong. It's just that all that information is wrong. If you go to their website and you read carefully, that if you can get UPS and FedEx and non-postal service packages there for $5. If you want post office, you have to sign up for a box and fill out the appropriate paperwork from the United States Postal Service. So they're absolutely authorized. They explain it thoroughly in their website. They explain it thoroughly if you go in and ask. They are a legitimate receiver. They have a post office box, but you are not a legitimate customer of their post office box. That's the way mail forwarding works. And in order to be a legitimate customer of their USPS post office box, you need to fill out United States Post Office paperwork, which you didn't do because you're not a member there. So, Spider, I'm going to have to delete your comment there because it's filled with pretty good misinformation about a vendor that I think does a really good job and tries really hard. It is not their fault. They don't make up the rules for the Postal Service, and to call them not legitimate, not okay. So that's going to go to Bruce. Sorry. All right. Author Deborah Dickinson, I'm so glad you and Herbie had held this fun meetup. Thanks, Rob. Always good to see you, and I love seeing all your viewers. You guys rock. Oh, we already read that. Okay. Kathy Weber, really a great recording. I should be down there right now in my Class C. It would be my first time. Instead, I'm stuck up here in Monroe, Washington, in my rig at an RV park. Things I have to take care of up here before being able to there. Probably won't be able to be there until next year. Thanks again for the video using the drone. I'm 69 and I can't wait to live this life. Been living full-time in this for about 14 months now. I love it. Lots of RVs here. Many living here year-round. Very quiet here. Well, thanks, Kathy. And this is on yesterday's video that it got up late. Sorry, it's called The Desert Filled Up. And it did, even though I posted it late at night, it did really well. Let me see, how's it doing now? I was kind of a little bit surprised. It has gotten 2,600 views, so it's, yeah, fairly popular. And Chuck Brewington, the stars aligned for you today. I was rooting for you. Thanks, Chuck. Jean Collette, what is with these flags? What does it mean? What does this mean? Okay, you have a 33-minute video where I walk through the desert and drive all through town with flags everywhere. What flags? I need to know. And I don't know about meanings of flags other than the obvious ones any more than you do. So I don't know what flags you're referring to. And if I knew, I probably wouldn't know, since I just know this is a United States flag. This is a pirate flag. I see Trump flags. I know what that means. Spikers, well, I'm here, apparently just south of you on the same road. Yes, been watching you long enough to know your location. Everything after the Big Ten chaos. Hope to see you to say hi. Cell towers bogged down. Missed a lot of videos. Man, this is crazy. Packed with RVs. Never seen anything like this. Kind of wild to see. It is. It's pretty exciting for about a week. And then just as you're getting over the excitement, everybody's there's a mass exodus after the Big Ten's over. Danny Nomad, I did laundromats for years, but now I have a small washer. I gave up some for floor space in my 19-foot, but it's 19-foot travel trailer, but it's worth it. I dry everything on a folding dry rack. I love not having to go to laundromats anymore. It would make me sad not to go to laundromats anymore. I love going to grocery stores and laundromats and hardware stores and pizza places. I like doing errands. Not everybody's the same, right? To each his own. Forking, wow, it looks like it's really busy, more than just the past few years. I agree. It's way busy. Na says, wow, the desert is suddenly getting filled, and it's just as it was filled a few weeks ago. It'll be empty again. You're right, Naj. Ken Gracie, lots of rigs and still lots of room. Yeah, that's one true thing. No matter how busy it again, you just go further out. There's more room. There's always more room. Ken says, you had a good day, got everything done you needed to. Every time your phone, I laughed every time your phone beeps. I looked at the charge indicator on my iPad. Yeah, I ordered new cords. Take about a week to get here. Cottawampo, buddy. Yep. Water was shut off. The spigots were covered with plastic bags. The RVs used water too quickly now that there are a lot of them. You should see how crowded it is where I am. I'm surrounded. I'll bet. I know where you are. It's going to be hard for me to, if I want to visit you again, it's going to be hard for me to pick through all the people to get to you. Don't worry, they'll be gone in a week. I love hearing the wonder and joy in your voice as you seem so happy. Well, thank you, Montana's wife. I am a happy man. And God Trails, what a small world. I'm in Hope, Idaho, not far from Bonner County. Now, God Trails, that's not quite true, is it? Because Hope is in Bonner County. It's not near Bonner County. So Hope, and you know there's a place called Beyond Hope right next to that. Yeah, I've spent quite a bit of time in Hope. It's in Bonner County. And that's on the panhandle of Idaho, way up there. And one of the things I loved about Bonner County, and the county seat is Sandpoint, Idaho. It's on a huge lake called Lake Pend Oreille. It's an enormous, beautiful lake, mostly surrounded by national forests. So there's, it's not ringed by rich people's houses. They're islands. And get this, here's a piece of trivia for you. That lake has a U.S. Navy submarine base active on that lake. And you're going to see. Oh, no. No, 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 no. You're mistaken. I'm not mistaken. Okay? So here's the twist. It's a testing base. They test new submarines. And I think, I've heard, I don't know if this part's true, but I think it's like 2/3 scale models that they do. But it's in Bayview. The base is in Bayview, which is actually not in Bonner County. It's technically in Kootenai County. It's right on the edge, but it's at the bottom of the lake, Bayview. There are no tours through there, but you can drive down there and see there's a submarine base, and there's stuff out in the lake. And especially if they're out there doing testing, they don't want you anywhere near it, and you get intercepted by one of their boats if you get too close. And I suspect they do a lot at night. What else did I want to say about Bonner County? It's 2,000 square miles. And here's to me, the neatest thing when I lived in Bonner County. My brother Frank still lives there. He's lived there for over 50 years. I lived there from 2009 to about 2016 or 2015. 5 or 6 years I lived there. But it's in that skinny part of Idaho, right? So if it goes straight up north, in an hour I can be in Canada. If I put the pedal to the metal, less than an hour, I can be in Canada. 30 minutes to the east, I'm in Montana. 30 minutes to the west, I'm in the state of Washington. Isn't that cool? It's not far from Spokane. It's probably the closest big city is Spokane, Washington. And that's an hour and change away, hour and 15, hour and 20 minutes away. And that's where the airport is that I would fly in and out of. Well, let's refresh and see if we have a fresh comment after God Trails. And we don't. That is it. That was 45 minutes ago. And that is all there is that's fit to print. I hope you enjoyed today's video. The long form video is going to be a little later. It's queued up to be done. It's the first day at the big tent. Little problem with the camera. You know, I have that neck thing that the camera sits on that where's this? This camera would sit on my chest on a neck thing, and it broke. So I got a lot of cockeyed shots, which you can still enjoy it, but it's not ideal. I had to order a new one, so I'll be using a different camera today. I'm a little bummed about that, but what the heck? It's gonna be okay. So that's it for today. I can't think of anything else. Take care, and I love it that you're hanging in there with me. Thank you.